Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and I promise you we have an outstanding show for you today with some amazing guests, some community ladders, stakeholders, pretty much primarily people doing good in our community, as you know this show is all about. But as you also know, this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if we did not give grace to a very loving Father that makes this all possible. Usually we thank him with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And I must be excited or something today, Billy.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just tripping all over the place. But it must be
We've just been having so much fun.
We're having so much fun, and we got some great guests in studio today. We definitely, I think every time I come in here, it's like hanging out with my best friends. But it would have to be, again, the way it is today. We got Mr. Billy Hill Jr. with Tucson Tool Shop here in studio with us. And then if you hear snickering or laughing or pointing in the background, that's Kimberly and Sophia with Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions. I have to read it every single time. Or I'm going to mess it up every single time. But yes, but thank you all for being here for one. But Billy, you're in the hot seat, buddy.
Yeah.
You're in the hot seat. But before we really do a grill down and meet the CEO version of the Common Good Radio Show. Explain to people who is the Tucson Tool Shop.
We have new and used tools. Primarily, I try to focus on made in the USA, good high quality things. Tools for everybody.
Nice.
Homeowners, businesses, all walks of life.
Nice. Yeah. And if you haven't been by Tucson Tool Shop, likely you've driven by it if you've ever driven on Grant, just east of Stone, right?
Correct.
On Grant, on the north side of the road, and a pillar of Tucson, at one time known as Kent's Tools, so operated in Tucson over 40 years, something along those lines?
Yeah. Kent and Sally and Butch started in 1978.
That is a while ago.
I took over in 2023. So.
Yeah, when I tell my kids that I was born in the 1900s, they think that I'm a dinosaur. So that was long.
I get that one too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but let's go hop into our time machine, and let's go in the way back machine to when you were a young boy, and let's start with where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was actually born here in Tucson.
Okay.
At Banner, I think it's called now, Banner UMC.
What was it called when you were born there?
I think it was UMC.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
I'm not sure. I just know recently it changed from something.
And what year was that? If you're not,
that was 85.
I won't ask Kimberly this question later.
Yeah, we don't ask the ladies that.
Okay, so you're.
But I was born in 85.
Okay, so you're born here in Tucson, and then what happened?
I grew up in a little tri-community about an hour north of here, Samuel, Mammoth, and Oracle.
Okay.
Where my dad worked in the mines until they shut down. Went to school there, all that good stuff. And then when I graduated from high school, I moved to Tucson to go to college to play baseball.
Okay.
And never left.
Interesting. And where'd you go to college at to play baseball?
Pima.
Okay. So tell me about that.
It was a lot of fun until I got hurt and tore up my shoulder.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a very long experience for me.
Interesting. What positions you play?
I was a pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah. So left-handed pitcher, 92 to 95.
Okay.
12 to 6 breaking ball. Yeah.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
The good stuff. So let's take a quick bunny hop backwards to when you were actually going to high school or going to school up in Oracle, San Manuel.
Manuel, yeah.
I'm actually familiar with it, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
It's a little, little place, but it seems you're good enough to play ball in Tucson. So tell me about that, and it I'm guessing you were the hot sauce at your high school for sure. So tell me about that experience.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't that big of a deal. I was a quiet guy. I got along with everybody and hung out with everybody. I was the quarterback on the football team. I played basketball and baseball, and that was my most of my high school and junior high years was just sports.
Just
for me.
athletics, huh?
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's all I really
Do you
did.
still play basketball at all?
Basketball, not really.
Yeah.
I do play.
Because you're left-handed too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you'd be hard to guard.
Yeah.
For sure. Interesting. What was your in basketball? You're a shooter. You a
Shooter.
you're a
Yeah.
shooter. Okay.
3-point
guy.
Yeah, I
Okay.
actually went to the state championship for they did the 3-point contest and the
Interesting.
free throw and stuff like that, and I represented our team in the 3-point shooting contest.
Interesting. Okay, if we ever do play basketball on you, I'm guarding you outside the 3-point line all day.
That's the only spot you have to worry about.
Okay, good.
Okay, when we get in closer, I'm
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you gotta let your foot heal.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so you went to Pima, played a little baseball there, got injured. What happened following that?
I decided not to go back to college and tried to turn pro, and went to several tryouts with Diamondbacks and Dodgers, and the last go around I went was with the Giants, and then tried out for the Tucson Toros. That was pretty fun.
That's cool.
There was a Hall of Famer. His name is Robin Yount, and his son was out there playing too. So that was pretty cool to rub elbows with the people like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And then following that, is this a happy story?
Yeah.
You're making it seem like it's not, Billy, but this is a happy story.
Yeah, it's a great story. I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I just don't really talk about myself a lot, so it's a little fun.
I know you're a humble guy, and I appreciate that about you. But I also felt like your story is a story that needed to be told. I mean, really, it's super cool how a guy like yourself, who you're so humble, like you say, you never want to talk about yourself, but the little things that peek out that I've been able to catch are some really cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely why I wanted to share it.
I just had a lot of help and support, so I tend to try and give them the notoriety and the good things, I wouldn't be here representing Tucson Tool Shop without my wife TJ, and without the help from Kent and Sally, and and my mother and father-in-law Ned and Kathy.
Nice.
Everybody's helped me out so much to get
takes
here.
Takes a village, for sure. So let's I guess jump to how you met Kent and Sally, and how you became how you met them, I guess, and then we'll jump to how you became the owner and founder of the Tucson Tool Shop.
Sure, yeah. Kent and Sally are longtime family friends of my in-laws, Ned and Kathy. They've been friends for like 50 years or something like that. And Ned played music. He's in the Tucson Hall of Fame, Ned Sutton. And so, one day, at one of the family parties, I met Kent and Sally, and then just kind of, saw them all the time until one day he needed help at the shop and called me. So.
And the rest was history. So
yeah, it was supposed to be like a 2-week temporary thing. Just show up and lift heavy things, and then there you go. But I never left.
And that was how many years ago?
Oh, like 12.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 years ago you started at the place. We have probably about a minute, so we have to wrap this up.
Okay.
And then how did we get to Tucson Tool Shop from there?
It came about time for Kent and Sally to slow down and retire, and they wanted to close the business and get rid of everything, and I didn't want that to happen. it would be. I thought it would be terrible for this community to lose that business, and I didn't want to find another job.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I like what I do.
Absolutely.
So I, worked with Kent, and we started the transition for me to take over for him.
Nice. And for people who want to stop by Tucson Tool Shop or get a hold of you at Tucson Tool Shop, how can they do that?
133 East Grant Road, Grant 1 block east of Stone, on the north side of the road. The shop number is 520-624-8098. You can call me on my cell phone at 520-633-5599. Online at TucsonToolShop.com, eBay.com, Tucson Tool Shop, all that good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Billy, for
Thank
joining
you.
me, brother.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That's Billy Hill Jr., my friend. He should be yours. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. We'll be right back after the break.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Yes, indeed. You are back. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain, and as I promised you, we would be talking with Kimberly and Sophia with Arizona, let me read the name, Arizona Choice Home Care Solutions.
Every time.
Yeah, every single time. Yeah, actually, when I don't, otherwise, like whenever every week when I thank our sponsors, I can just do it off the top of my head. But for some reason, when you're here in front of me, I'm going to mess it up. So maybe that's my superpower, is like I butcher people's names when they're here in front of me. But I'm really excited for this, this version of the show, this Meet the CEO, because ever since I met you, Kimberly, there's just an energy that you put out. I'm sure you've heard that probably since you were young. You just exude a certain type of energy, but it's just probably because your mindset, you're very positive. Like I'm guessing you throughout your life been able to find the silver lining in things really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's and it shows, and it's such a breath of fresh air every time I get to hang out with you. So
My gosh, thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. I
So kind.
mean every word. And I wanna let's get our shovel out and dig and find out exactly where that comes from. And you got the good fortune of sitting in last segment as we asked Billy some of these questions, so you kind of got to think about it. So I look forward to the richness of these answers. But bring us back to where you were born and where you were raised.
All right. Well, I'm a Tucson native.
Oh, a lot of Tucson people in the studio today,
which
huh?
is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I love
we love it.
Yeah, I love Tucson. Yeah.
Tucson. Sophie's a native.
Okay.
I'm a native. Super proud about that.
Yeah.
So I have 3 other siblings. My sister, she was, I guess, a Navy brat. So, but the other 3, I mean, we were born here in Tucson, and
Okay.
my dad's from Tucson, and that's where we grew up.
In Tucson.
In Tucson, yes.
And where'd you go to elementary, middle school, and high school?
In the 05. So I went to Ampi.
You don't have to tell us the years. I just said where. I'm trying to save
waiting.
us all.
So I actually
I'm dying.
get drink Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I went to Ampi.
Okay.
So I went to Prince Elementary, went to Ampi Middle School, and Ampi High School.
Okay.
So my dad graduated from Ampi, and all my siblings graduated
So
from
that's your
Ampi.
hood.
That's my hood. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I tell people I grew up in the 05. I mean,
Mhm.
if you ask my husband, where East Tucson is and where Central, like, I think I grew up Central Tucson,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah.
He would not call it Central.
No, nowadays you definitely wouldn't.
No.
Especially like what now they got stuff like out there past Houghton.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's wild. I mean I've been here in Tucson for a little over 22 years now, so I feel like I've seen it grow so much, but
Yeah.
probably compared to you. I mean, I'm guessing you saw when there was cornfields all over the place at one time,
Okay.
something like that. No,
No.
that's not that long ago.
No, but I'd imagine your family did because the property's been in your family for quite some time.
Yeah. So they did, but
Well, I just say that just because I grew up in Chandler, and in Chandler, Queen Creek
oh,
was
Oh,
all
yeah.
cornfields at one
Yes.
time
yeah.
when I grew up there. So that's I wasn't trying to insult you.
No.
Okay, so what was it like growing up in the '05 and in that time period?
It was good. It was
Mhm.
good. I mean, you got to walk to school. It was good. It really was. But unlike Billy, I didn't play sports.
Mm.
I was not a sports person. So my family actually grew up racing BMX.
Okay.
So bicycle motocross.
Mhm.
And both my brothers did it. I tried it. I was too much of a talker. I was too busy socializing.
Uh-huh.
I would miss my race. And my parents weren't going to pay for that. They said no.
Okay.
So, but gosh, we grew up doing that. So even though me and my sister didn't race, we always went to every single race and supported my brothers. And actually, my youngest brother, he still races. He's an elite athlete and an Olympian. And
Yeah.
I mean, he really took BMX to his career. And, and I think that's kind of when I won't lie. I was one of those people who I didn't like Tucson. I wanted to, as soon as I was 18, I was
Well,
going
I think that's everybody.
that's
where they
everyone,
grow up.
right?
Yeah. They just
Yeah.
want to get out of their hometown and see the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
and that was me. But,
Mhm.
I think what made me really love Tucson was when my brother went to the Olympics for the first time, and community really rallied. I mean, they did like the airport special and had
Nice.
signs
That's
and did the
cool.
new, like he was on the news every other week, and he was kind of Tucson's golden boy. I loved how the community rallied,
That's
and
cool.
that was kind of when I was like, gosh, yeah,
Yeah. Tucson's my place. That's
Tucson's
cool.
my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say was your thing like in school? You're a communicator, so
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
I'm a talker. So,
Uh-huh. So that got you in trouble more in school, I'm guessing, and then probably was helpful.
Yeah.
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 yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's graduate you out of high school. Once you got out of high school, then what were we looking at?
Gosh, I went straight to banking.
Okay.
So I graduated in May, and I think I worked at, the bank at probably July.
Mhm.
I mean, I went straight to banking, and then I worked my way up. I was in banking for probably like 11 years or so, 12
Mhm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I didn't love it, but
Mm.
I liked it. I mean, I
Mhm.
learned, and I think a lot of my social skills came from the bank also, especially
mhm.
like selling, like
Yeah.
cold calling,
Mhm.
knocking on businesses' doors, giving my card, because that's what you
Mhm.
did back in 2007.
Yeah.
There wasn't social
and
media.
probably customer service.
Yes.
Something that is like, it's almost like that word doesn't even exist anymore
Mhm.
in comparison to back in the olden days.
Yeah.
Where being loquacious and being a chatty Cathy was actually a good thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
Mhm.
it was having good customer service skills, where nowadays it's just like, okay, next. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you did banking for 11, 12 years. Then what after that?
So in banking, I had a robbery. I had my first robbery, and
Ugh.
my husband's like, yeah, we're done. I was 9 months pregnant
Mm.
and couldn't go back. Wasn't going to go
Mhm.
back. And I had a home care agency. What was it? It was like an office manager. Yeah,
Mhm.
office manager position kind of fall into my lap,
Mm.
and it was a friend of a friend who was
Mhm.
looking for an office manager, and I had just had my daughter, and it was I said, yep, I could do it. That's fine.
Mhm.
I could do it. I could do an office manager, and it was a startup business, and that's where I got my foot into home care. I never
Mm.
knew that I loved seniors until I started that.
Interesting.
I mean, let me tell you, I did people's money. So
Mhm.
I worked with a lot of seniors and their money, and
Mhm.
but it's very different with their
I
care.
imagine.
Very
I
different.
imagine. Yeah.
And I loved it. I really
Mhm.
did. Really opened my eyes
Mhm.
to what would I do with my parents, with my
Mm.
grandparents when they're older? Who's going to care for them? How are they going to get the care?
Mhm.
So it was a whole new world, and I really fell in love with it.
That's cool. Yeah, because I imagine it's like the opposite side of the coin. It's like it's vulnerability, but a different type of vulnerability. And there's in the way you can help them, it's a different type way to help them. So that's super cool. So you found this position, found really this calling that really spoke to you, and then where did you go with it?
I opened my own business.
Oh, hey.
I did. Past year, I opened my own business, and I get to make decisions. I get to follow through and kind of see the outcome on things, and that is so rewarding. And honestly, I don't think I'd be where I am today without Soph. I mean, she's been my day one girl.
You don't have to wave. It's a microphone. You could say hi, hey.
Hi. Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, gosh, two girls with a vision, really.
Yeah.
And we
That's
built
cool.
we're building a really good empire.
That's amazing. And for people who want to utilize your, I mean, I've luckily been able to refer people to you already. We've actually, not only have I had people that wanted to know more about what you did, I had people that wanted to know more about you. That's partially why I did this segment. Yeah, they were interested just to kind of like know more about, what, the people that make this organization happen. So for people who want to get to know you, want to get to know more about the organization, how can they do that?
You can visit our website at www.azchoicehomecare.com. I didn't think about that.
AZchoicehomecare.com. Nice.
Find us on Facebook.
Instagram.
Yeah, call us 520-900-8757.
Well,
Yeah, definitely call us.
thank you both so much for joining me, and thank you for opening up, Kim.
Totally,
I appreciate
thank you.
it. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. We'll catch you next week.